Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow!
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Xbox One Party Chat, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. I am this week's host, Ross Miller, and I'm joined by everyone's favourite uncle. It's Uncle Jesse.
What up? How y'all doing?
Yeah, not bad, I suppose. It's a Monday. Mondays are always depressing.
Exactly.
And some mod called Mikey.
Morning.
Yeah, Mike, did you sleep at all last night?
I think
Or today?
Maybe.
Everyone
Someday.
keeps
Might
on
have been
pointing
yesterday.
that Mikey's always sound very, very tired when he's on the podcast, and I tend to agree. Mikey, you have to sleep more.
I do have to sleep more. You guys always have a lovely time. You know, if I worked at normal American hours, it'd be great when recording 4 o'clock Central, but I work nights, so it's not so good.
So shouldn't this be your you should be waking up to start the day, correct? Or is it now this is the time that you'd be going to bed? Or you should have already gone to bed.
I should have already gone to bed, but I'm kind of a slacker and kind of bad at it. My normal work hours are 6:30 to 6:30, which are quite terrible.
It's
only 3 days a week, so I get like 4 days off. It's great.
Well, let's swiftly move on and find out what you've been playing this week, and we'll start by you, Sleepyhead. Michael?
Oh, what have I been playing? Oh, Hyper Light Drifter. I just started playing it because we got in contact with the dev, and he'll be on the show with us later. And it's, I'm usually not a fan of two-dimensional games, and this isn't fully 2D, it's 3D, but it's 2D art. And it usually is kind of a turnoff for me, but this game is one of the more colorful 2D games that I've seen. It's also super fun to actually play. It's kind of like if you threw Zelda, Diablo, and a little bit of Dark Souls in, and you made that into a game.
It looks so stylistically cool. It's very retro looking, but at the same time pretty modern. I'm very excited that we get a chance to chat with the guys that created the game and hear a little bit more about it, especially for those people that maybe haven't heard about it yet. It is releasing later this week on the Xbox One, so it's very, very exciting. It's been out, I think, on the PC now for a few months, right?
Since, I think, March 26th.
Okay.
I think. Maybe it was March 31st. Whatever. Close enough.
And this was another Kickstarter game, but a successful Kickstarter.
Very successful.
Game
it was number 1 on Steam for a week, if I remember right.
I think it's got really good reviews overall as well. So very excited to see it come into the Xbox One. That'll be another game to add to my backlog that I install and never get to.
You got to play it. I hear it only takes about 7 hours if you're an average player to beat. So
that's not bad.
It's from what I read, but when you get into the game, it's kind of like there's no words. It's kind of pictogrammy. The whole story is told through pictures, so you kind of just got to guess what everything does. But it's pretty intuitive.
And what about you, Clay?
No surprise, I think, to anybody. I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege.
Moving on.
No, I actually I've been traveling a ton for work, so I haven't had a whole lot of time for gaming. I did buy Frau. I never quite understood how to pronounce that. Haven't had a chance to play it, and I also picked up Dangerous Golf, which I fully intended on playing on Sunday with my son, and we just didn't have enough time to get on it. But I did play a whole bunch of Siege after the family went to bed the other night.
I forgot. I did play some Dangerous Golf. That's right. It is actually
nice.
fun, so you should get to it. Once you learn the controls, it's actually fun.
I've heard it's crazy fun, so it's I'm looking forward to that. And I loved the interview with those guys. So sad I couldn't have been on there, but it was a great one.
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've been playing Dangerous Golf as well. After my chat
Nice!
with the guys last week, I figured I'm just going to go and grab this game and start playing it. And Mike, you're right. When you pick up the mechanic and the controls, it's a lot of fun. So,
At first, I was like, oh, man, I don't know. And then I realized how everything worked, and it's, I can actually score points now. I actually know what's going on.
there's something very satisfying about when you mess up, but it goes in anyway.
It does. It's almost kind of like it's got an auto-targeting system
Yeah.
sometimes. But, that went in the hole. Oh, lucky me, I guess.
Nice.
What else have I been playing? Rocket League, of course.
Of course, I saw you on there this weekend playing some Rocket League.
Yeah, I played for 7 hours straight.
And you dragged me on somehow.
Yeah, Mikey was playing with us, so that was a lot of fun. So because we're doing private matches, we've developed our own mode, and I won't tell you the name of it, but simply it is the basketball court, and you use the puck from Snow Day on the basketball court, and it's superb. I just love it.
It sounds like it might be a little bit challenging.
It's okay. Like, it's not as random goals, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's good for sort of 2-on-2 because it's a smaller court.
Mm-hmm.
So or even 3-on-3 suits it, and yeah, we were having a lot of fun with that. Although we done lots of insane modes, 10 times boosts and everything else. But
Although I didn't play
so
that
much
mode with
value.
you, you still score from the side, don't you?
Yeah.
I can't stop you when you do that. So annoying.
Yeah, it's just I have never got so much value out of a game. I think I'm at 350 hours now.
Gee,
Wow.
Are you for real? 350 hours?
350 hours. Now, I'm not going to take full credit for that. That, like, when I'm at work, my wife might be sitting playing it using my profile. So I
But
can't
still.
say that's all me, but even still, between the two of us, it's like 350 hours.
That's a $20 game that you're getting a hell of a lot of use out of. I think it was only $20, right? Or
Yeah,
20 pounds or
50,
whatever it is that
15
you guys use over there.
$15 or £15, sorry. Whatever currency we're using now. But yeah, no, like, I don't remember getting as much value out of a game in my life, so cheers for that.
I'm surprised you found time to play Dangerous Golf now.
Yeah, it's a sort of, I don't know, it's true. It's like I hardly play stuff. I've still not finished Fallout. I've still not started Red Dead.
Oh, that's a shame.
You haven't
That's
started Red Dead. Can we end the podcast now and let you play it?
Yeah.
I want to sit down when I've got a free weekend and just, get right into it. I don't want to just dive in for an hour or whatever. I want to, give it my full attention. So I will get round to it, and I will report on this podcast my opinion about Red Dead as soon as I do it.
Nice.
Okay?
It is my favorite game from last generation.
Right, well, I've got to do it. I've got to do it.
You really
Anyway,
do.
let's find out what's been happening in the subreddit this week.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat podcast. This week in the subreddit.
Perfect. So, Ross, actually, I think I'm gonna
Whoa,
start-
Jesse, sorry, I think I'm going to start with the first story.
Oh,
So,
okay.
user Uncle Jesse posted
Got
episode
you.
number 52 of this week on the subreddit. So, congratulations, Jesse. You've made it for a year without anyone banning you.
I
How
know.
does that feel?
Surprisingly,
I've been
it's some shameless self-promotion, right?
Oh no! I think everyone in the subreddit
Oh.
can agree that the videos are great. You can see the difference in the first videos through
Oh
to
my
the number
goodness.
52 and the production quality.
Yeah.
And
You definitely
I
make
know
the best last week on our Xbox One from the East Cost.
There we
on the
go.
whole subreddit. That's pretty good.
But anyway, thank you very much. Do the
Yeah,
mods want
no,
to say
thank you,
anything? As
guys.
you representing the mods, Mikey, do you want to say anything?
You know what? We talk about them behind the scenes, and it's nothing but good. Thank you for everything you do. No, seriously, there's a lot of people that could make some bad content, but you make wonderful content, and thank you so much for bringing what you do to the subreddit. It's much appreciated.
My little bit that I can give back to the community. So I just want to say thank you guys for letting me make those every week and sharing them with everybody out there. And thanks for everybody for watching and, again, providing the feedback. I mean, you see if you go back and watch the first few to the most recent ones, hell, I mean, most of those are all the changes were from people providing feedback on, hey, can you actually look at the camera and not turn sideways and talk?
And you didn't start to about, what was it, episode 26 with the little bit at the end?
Yeah.
It's actually my favorite bit now.
The little Easter egg, I guess you could say, at the end of the episode. Yeah, I didn't start until a handful. I think I just sort of did it for the fun of it, and then I just kind of stuck up with it because since I saw people were actively enjoying that or sticking around to the end of that. So now the challenge is coming up with something to stick at the end of those.
Oh no, know what?
Usually not too hard with my flubs that I do.
Did you ever fix your GoPro that you jumped in a pool with?
Oh, no, I haven't, man. And hopefully my wife isn't listening to this because she has brought that up 5 or 6 times already that I need to reach out to the warranty plan and try and get that replaced. I have not done that yet. I'm so lazy when it comes to some things. Yeah, I need to do that. I wish I had
yourself a new one.
Yeah, I didn't 3D print myself a case for it. It just, I should have been using a better one when jumping into the pool. That's all.
Well, Clay, for the listeners, will you give us your intro?
Sure. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Last Week on Xbox One. Each week, we cover the top submitted posts over on the Xbox One subreddit. I think I missed something there, but that's all right.
Well, anyway, what are you bringing this week, Jesse?
Yeah, I was gonna say that someone had posted the article about how Rocket League is now in a position to release, and I should say someone posted. It was actually Reese. It was Delicious Cheese that posted that.
He was bragging about the karma.
I know it was. It was the top submitted post last week. So the Rocket League dev team have stated that they have everything in place and ready to go for cross-network play between the Xbox One and the PS4. They're just waiting on Sony's go-ahead to basically enable it or make it possible from their standpoint. To enable that. I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, we've talked about this a few times before, cross-network play, but it's just great to see that it's actually in a place now to make this happen. I mean, would you guys be interested in this actually getting flipped on? Ross, I'm sure you're the big Rocket League guy here.
Well, more people to beat, yeah. No. Yeah, I am. I've got friends that have only got a PS4. And I would love to play. Plus, I don't know about you, but how good would it be to have Xbox versus PS4 games on Rocket League?
Actually, I was going to say,
I've always said that I believe, and I truly still believe this, Xbox has a more competitive multiplayer base than PS4. I might, there's a mod on the team, Falcon Box, so some mods PS4. He might give me a little crap later, but I truly believe that, so I think we'd stomp on them.
So you think we would beat the PS4?
I think overall, yes, we would. I think. Could be completely wrong about that because their player base is a little bigger, but
yeah, I would really want to try it. It's interesting because Microsoft said, yeah, we're up for it, or did they come out and say that?
Microsoft came out and said they're ready for it. It was Sony that has been kind of silent on that front, and I don't think it's because they don't want to do it. I think they've been silent because they were a little caught off guard. And now they're trying to get everything ready in order to do it. And usually with Sony, we don't hear about some until it's ready to go. So
yeah, right. It'll be interesting. But if it doesn't happen, I think it makes them look like the bad guys almost.
It does.
Yeah.
Just create that narrative, but they can also come back and say that we back last generation wouldn't do it when we were in the lead. So,
very true. It's interesting to me that there's now multiple developers behind this. I mean, it's not just the Rocket League guys. Who is it? Project CD
Project
Red. said that they wanted Gwent to run through this so that you could play the card game from Xbox to PS4 and what was it? Not Battleborn. What's the other one that everybody's playing? Overwatch. It's I believe it was the Overwatch team wanted you to be able to do that as well, and we're behind this sort of movement to make this happen. So I can't see what's the downside to doing this. I really don't see if there being any downside to it. It's just better for the gamers out there.
Well, people say it'll sell less consoles, but I don't think that's entirely true. Like they think it could help Xbox more than PlayStation. I think it's only a matter of time before we get this.
Well, I've admitted this before. I've got a PS4, but I only play the exclusives on it. And
same here.
I don't generally buy my multi-platform games. I generally have them for the Xbox One because that's my console of choice as such, right? And you know, it's one of them things that now and again, if I hear or I see a post in some of the communities I'm involved in, like Facebook and things like that, they post, oh, Xenon fancy a game of this, and it's like, oh, I fancy a game. Oh, it's in PS4. I don't have it on PS4. And it always makes me feel a little bit sad inside that I'm missing out on something. And let's face it, we're all gamers. We love to game. Right. Just let us game with each other. That's right. All I'm asking. Yeah.
Ross, that actually brings up a good topic here, which is I've also got a PS4, and I've been debating on selling my PS4 because I literally have not played it at all. I purchased it to play those exclusive games on the PS4. Really haven't played it at all. I booted up to download the monthly titles that are available on there, the PS Plus program. And now I'm thinking about trading it in towards an Xbox One S. So this brings me into the next topic here that Major Nelson and the Xbox team announced that the Xbox One S is releasing officially next week on August 2nd. That was Blazing1414 posted that topic over on the subreddit. So are you guys picking it up, or have you guys pre-ordered, or are you holding off? What are you guys doing? Mikey, how about you?
I'm conflicted because I know me and Ross have been looking at that Gears of War Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, do I wait? Do I not? And I'm one of those people that I'm dead set right now on getting the Gears Elite controller. So when I look at the Gears Xbox, it doesn't come with it. So I might end up getting just the regular Xbox One S because I can't see myself springing for both Gears of War things. It'd be a lot of money. But I'm definitely getting one version of the Xbox One S. I'm very excited for it.
My wife said no.
I'm sorry.
I know. Not for you.
Ross, I told you this. I told you this before. This is what you need to do. You got to set up a separate credit card on the side.
Right.
Lisa, if you're listening to this, just turn off the podcast. Just turn off the podcast. So you set up a whole bank account on the side, and then you get another wife and you get another family, and you set them up on the side. And, wait, sorry, what am I talking about again?
Okay, let's talk about
Ross, you denied purchase from the big boss man.
I think we should go fund your page for you, Ross.
Yeah.
I even said, I was even like, it's got a push-in button, and she went, why da care? But yeah, like that Gears win, if she sees that Gears win, I think it's gonna change.
It'll change her mind. Oh yeah,
change the world. A whole new world.
Oh my goodness.
That's gonna all end.
I've actually got it pre-ordered, and I was debating on trading my PS4 in to offset the cost a bit, because they did announce with this announcement, they did say that they're only releasing the 2 terabyte edition on August 2nd. The 1 terabyte and the 500 gig versions are not coming till later in the year, and there's no date for those. I think it was like probably going to be around this holiday season, which wouldn't surprise me at all.
Don't think so. I think they'll the early adopters, as per usual, will pick up the 2 terabytes, and within a couple of months, like honestly, September, I think end of September you're going to see the one and the 500 gigabytes.
Right.
I
So as
generally
well,
do.
Did you guys also see the note that they have temporarily, I think that's what it stated, reduced the regular Xbox One, the 500 gig version, to $250, which is a pretty damn great price.
You're on the fence. That I remember when the I think it was the Xbox One that launched. I believe that was the price of the 360 at the time, and it sold like hotcakes.
It did. Yeah,
Now was the time to buy.
That is a very, very sweet spot for that. And what's great is, again, even come next year when the Scorpio is released, tentatively all games will still run, even on the regular Xbox, the Xbox S, and the Scorpio, which is going to be something very interesting to see and for us to be chatting about a year from now, for sure.
Well, I just realized that's half the price I paid at launch.
Don't remind me.
Well, technically, I didn't buy mine, but I think I've discussed that before.
Didn't you win yours or something like that?
I did, so I shouldn't be talking.
I don't know what the price is going to be in the UK at $250. Can I tell you it's not going to be £250? There's no way they'll sell. Well, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. But
Does it tend to be the same level in dollars, like $300, £300, or is it less?
Yeah, that country's all out of whack now, so who knows?
Yeah, like we're
yeah,
close.
that's right. You did some sort of
Exchange rate.
Brexit thing.
Yeah, but usually if it's $250, it's like £300. No, it's funny. The exchange rate's like a bit like Canada. The UK seem to get a bit like higher prices basically than what the exchange rate is into dollars, and everything seems so cheap
if you
in
want to
America.
pay for shipping,
yeah, I know.
there might be a Xbox One waiting for you in Minnesota.
But I want one, but I don't need an S.
No, you need it. Shh. Okay, you need it. You don't want it, you need it.
I know.
I need it. I don't care about you.
I can tell you this. I'm probably the most excited about the built-in power supply and that it is 40% smaller. I mean, I don't have a 4K TV yet, so I can't take advantage of some of the 4K streaming or the HDR support just yet. But that smaller Xbox and the no power supply is going to make it so much easier for me to travel with this thing on all the business trips that I go on, so that I can actually game on the road, which will be very, very exciting for me. It's going to be a whole new world. Was somebody just screaming? What was that in my
me earlier? Ross, you're up next.
I was going to say, like, were you watching Aladdin earlier, or?
I'm like, why was that in my head?
Somehow, I don't know.
It's a very strange song to have in your head, to be honest with you. So, Uno, Giant Defy Ant posted this week that Ubisoft is reigniting the classic game Uno. Now, I know about Uno on the Xbox 360.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys Did you guys play it?
Closed
I
or
did.
not closed?
Let's keep this above board, okay?
Camera on or camera off?
Yeah.
Is
See, this is what I heard about it. Is this what's going to come back now? It's basically chat roulette.
Well,
Probably will
Microsoft has
descend
been
to
a bit more heavy-handed this generation, I've noticed. So maybe not. I would guess at launch, yes. But will eventually be banned.
There's going to be a whole lot of Wang Chunging going on out there.
Every night.
It's no, but seriously, it's a fun game. I remember I had fond memories. I'm trying to be very.
Yes, I had fun memories. Camera off mode. I did. It was a fun game for me.
It's a good
gameplay.
Yeah, it's a good fit. You know what's funny is it sort of reminds me of a Rocket. It's completely different gameplay, but Rocket League, where you can get in and you can play a game real quick. You're not stuck playing something for 20, 30 minutes. That's what I remember playing about. I used to maybe play a round or two of Uno and then jump into something else. Or I get done playing something.
So it turns into 6 games.
But it was, I don't know, it was fun having the camera. I do remember having some interest. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of nakedness, thankfully. But I do remember seeing like people at parties playing this game with their camera on and interacting. So it's kind of interesting. It's a fun little dynamic that they're reintroducing out there for any lucky Kinect owners.
Isn't that how you met your wife? Anyway, move on to the next story. I think just move on to the next story.
Yes. Rainbow Six Siege got some new operators. I'm trying to say by What's My Password. I think if there's anybody here at this podcast table we got going on, Clay, if you want to talk about the new operators.
Yes, I'm very excited. This is Operation Skull Rain, is the latest in the season pass pack thing. I can't remember what they're calling it here, but it's 2 new operators that are coming along with 1 new map. There's also a new game mode, as well as some updates that they're making, as always, to the game itself. The 2 operators, there's 1 defense, 1 offensive person, and I'm going to butcher the names of these team players or the new characters here. Caveria is the defensive operator who has Silent Step as her perk or whatever that is. Basically allowing them to sneak up on enemies, disable them, and it says interrogate them, which I thought was pretty cool. So assuming you don't get spotted by someone else, one of the other enemy teammates, and attacked, you can interrogate the person that you've downed to reveal the location of all the other people in the game, which is pretty cool. The offensive person, Captiao, has a tactical has a tactical crossbow. It says can fire asphyxiating bolts that burn oxygen within a certain radius. Also includes a micro smoke grenade that can mask positions and team movements, which is pretty cool. I don't see that as being as effective as maybe some of the other operators that are out there.
I can tell you the first one. This is not the first Ubisoft game to do this. For people, Clancy fans like me, Ghost Recon Future Soldier. You could take people down, and if you took them down with the melee and you choked them out, you revealed the enemy team's positions, and it is a huge benefit.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that they were doing that. Although it's a bit harder to sneak up on someone in Siege.
It's very hard to sneak up on
shots
someone.
and you're dead. So that'll be interesting. But if you can do that consistently, that's a huge boost to your team.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it says sneak up on an enemy to immobilize them. So I'm wondering, is it like a melee move, or can you from a short range shoot a weapon and it sort of knocks them out or stuns them so that you can sneak up on them? I'm
going to assume it's a melee.
How do you interrogate them?
Hold right stick. Press F to interrogate.
I'm not going to lie, out of the DLC, these seem the worst.
Are they stretching? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, it's like the ideas in these sort of they are hero shooters now, let's face it, that's what it is. And these characters just don't seem as good as what they were before. There is nothing, I can understand the interrogation side of it, but how that's going to play out in the game, it's going to be a bit strange. I need to see it first before I can make my mind up.
I think, depending on how often you can pull it off, I think Caveira is probably the most... I'm going to say it right now. It's probably the most overpowered, I think, teammate in the game.
You clearly haven't been Blackbeard then.
Blackbeard's good. I've
shield.
seen this mechanic before, and it is so helpful. And if only one team can do it, I think it's going to be a massive boost to the defense team.
Sorry, the other thing I was going to say is that the other thing that they've blocked is the kill counts. And so anytime you kill someone on your team, the indicator doesn't appear for the other players to see. So you have to actually call that out, that you've taken somebody out or that you were taken out with your teammates. So
It sounds like a game mode I'm only going to play with my friends. Because
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people don't like to put in their mics.
Oh, yeah.
Although there's more on Siege. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Still not everyone.
Most games there's a mic. I try and talk in the mic, and as soon as I start talking, people generally respond. You know, it's always that you just need one person to talk at the beginning of the game for other people to.
Well, it's because you have such a wonderful voice, as Aaron Greenberg stated. That's just now the reason why you're his voicemail.
Yeah, for anyone that does that, go to the Xbox One Party Chat Twitter, because I'm now Aaron Greenberg's voicemail, which is quite flattering, to be honest with you. I am available for hire. No.
Tree fitty.
But like, as I said, like I just the other ones I sort of went, the other heroes, as I like to call them, operators, I was excited for. I couldn't wait to see them in action. Whereas these guys, I'm just not. But I just need to see that.
I think you're
they're
just
going
a
to do this
pessimist.
interrogation. I just like winding Jesse up. That's all it is.
It's all right, man. It takes me forever since I don't have the season pass. It takes me like a month and a half to save up enough credits to buy one of the operators. So
Wait, how many credits is it?
25,000 credits.
Wow.
I think if you win a ranked match, it's like 350 credits you get.
I did not know it was 25,000. See, I'm one of those people that bought it on PC and Xbox and got the season pass for both because I really do like this game too. That's actually a really high price. I was wondering how they justify the season pass. Pay to win, eh?
You also get it. You also get that. You get the operators. I think a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 7 days early.
Yep.
So you get the season pass. You get them with 7 days early. But yeah. Anyway, enough about Jesse's game.
Hey, if anybody from Ubisoft's listening, we want somebody to come on the podcast to talk about this game because I love it. I love it. I play it every day.
Well, Mikey, do you want to introduce this week's interview?
And now here's this week's interview, Alex Preston from the Hyperlight Drifter team.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
Hello, everyone. We're joined here today by Alex Preston of Heart Machine, the creator of Hyperlight Drifter. Go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
And also, here to help me grill him is Dave, a.k.a. Falconbox.
How you doing, everybody?
So, Alex, for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself and the game that your studio has created.
Sure. I'm the creator of Hyperlight Drifter. It's a game where you run around and kill a lot of stuff. No, it's an overhead pixel art game in the vein of classic Zelda games, but with a lot of modern inclinations and larger scale. And a unique style, art style. So we're out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One today.
Congratulations. Things are a little rocky right now here, but...
Mostly with backer stuff. So, my advice is don't do a Kickstarter and launch on consoles at the same time if you have a very small team.
Good advice for would-be devs. And speaking of other devs, there's a lot of them that put their heart and soul into games, but with you kind of quite literally did that, as the game is based around your own life experiences in dealing with the heart condition.
Sure.
For those that don't know, can you tell us and our listeners about the ties that your game and your own life share?
Sure. Yeah, I was born with a congenital heart disease, or a heart condition, and it has been a major factor in my life, and facing certain realities that other people don't have to until they're 70 years old, maybe. It changes your outlook on life and your perspective on work and productivity. And for me, it ties very heavily into the personal aspects of the story for the game. especially with the lead character, and he's battling his own illness. So there's a lot of connections that I make there throughout, visually and even just the general atmosphere and tone of specific parts of the game. So it's a very personal experience for me that I'm trying to communicate with all the players.
Yeah, I definitely noticed, because I played probably about 3 or 4 hours, and just start off, and my character initially crouched over and he started coughing and bleeding. I'm like, oh, I missed the whole thing where he's dying here. Oh man, it was definitely realistic for me. Davey, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, Alex, you did mention just before that it was kind of pulling in different styles from games like Zelda, and I've also seen comparisons to even classic Diablo.
Sure.
Can you give an example, how did you draw the inspirations from these other games?
I mean, it's mostly just picking and choosing the stuff that I liked from games that I enjoyed the most growing up. There's heavy influences from Super Metroid in there as well, where that game was masterfully composed, and the atmosphere in that was like no other I'd experienced. And in Diablo, there's a lot of threads there with kind of the combat design and like the enemy management, and the amount of enemies that can be overwhelming, and sense of direction. And then even pulling from Dark Souls like many people do these days, because it's also kind of immaculately designed just in its world structure, and boss design. So there's any number of influences that I'm pulling from, much like any good creator would, because they see the things that are working and try and make it their own.
And you mentioned a bit of Dark Souls in there, which one of the big things in Dark Souls is a shield. And obviously Hyper Light Drifter is a super fast-paced game. Was there ever a moment like during development where you went, let's try implementing a shield? Obviously in the final game there's none, but did you try it?
Oh, we did. And way in the beginning, there was actually a shield for several months, and we tried every iteration of that. But we decided that our game was much more about being aggressive, much more about speed, much more about the dance between, danger and safety. So being able to dash in and out of battles and manage your space much better, without putting up this big defensive turtling mechanic was important to us. And, we didn't really figure that out until months of iteration on a stupid shield, which we ended up saying goodbye to.
Well,
Yeah.
I approve the decision. I think it's actually really cool, because one of my favorite Souls games is actually Bloodborne, where there's a shield, but it's useless. So,
yeah, and that game is more aggressive because of it. So,
yeah, totally understand the design, and I personally love it.
Yeah, and the Drifter in this, you're just dashing in and out. Not only do you have the melee sword, but you get the upgrades later. You can get a gun for some ranged combat, and also to solve some of the puzzles with some of the bridges you have to activate.
right.
You also mentioned that this game was kickstarted originally.
Yes.
Originally, it was just a PC platform. I believe your initial target goal was something like 27,000. You reached over $640,000 on Kickstarter, which is insane.
It was pretty crazy.
When did you decide to put Xbox One as one of the platforms? Because I saw it wasn't a stretch goal originally.
Sure. It was in the plan. As soon as the first day, it blew up in the first day, and I was like, I would definitely like to put this on consoles at some point. So, really early in the process, once we had traction, it made a lot of sense to push this on consoles, because why not be on as many platforms as we can?
Well, thank you. Even though I bought it on Steam first, it's I'm gonna end up buying an Xbox again, because I'm gonna end up playing it with my girlfriend, and I know me and her the co-op thing, so it'll be. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of work to get it on consoles, actually, because that whole process is very different than putting it on Steam, for example, or any of the other, like GOG or Humble or whatever else, where it's pretty straightforward. Console stuff requires a lot of very, very fine-tooth combing over details. So it's been a lot of effort over the past 3 months porting it over, and I think it's worth it.
Yeah, were there any when you were having to go through cert for the consoles? What was the hardest aspect of that you ran into?
All of it, every step of the way.
Oh,
it's extremely complicated and very unfriendly. I mean, the people that were helping us, like our account managers and whatever else, they're all wonderful and did as much as they could to push this stuff through. But they're working in larger organizations with a lot of inner workings that we don't necessarily understand or don't have control over. And things take a lot more time to turn around, and they have other priorities as well as ours. So it can be really difficult at times and very stressful when you're like on the edge of your seat trying to push something through, and they're like, well, you got to wait for this, and you got to do this, and now you have to fill out these forms and these forms and these forms. It's like, okay, there's a lot more process to it, and it can be very scary and very stressful, which it was at times, and even now still dealing with that stuff. So not over yet.
And I suppose you're just trying to get a game out, and you're running into the red tape, and the red tape's not fun.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But again, like, we had tons of help, and everybody at these, like, at Microsoft and Sony, like, they're all super good people and have done a great job with the stuff. It's like it's complicated. It's a very complicated process. So things just take time, and there's so many little moving mechanisms and parts to this. So it's a lot of work.
Well, we thank you for dealing with all the pain and trouble with a small team that you guys had to go through all that.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more kind of, I want to know, because I haven't started it yet, for the local co-op option. I know a lot of people are into that. Does the game change in any way when co-op is turned on?
It does, yeah. Enemies have 400,000 more hit points. No, enemies don't actually get stronger in it. Enemies don't actually get stronger in it, but you do get a little more vulnerable. You're a little bit weaker when you have a co-op player there. But the advantage is you have a lot more firepower. So think of it as being even more of a glass cannon. The bosses, however, do have double health, because it's much easier to double team one character than it is multiple characters coming at you. So, there's certain advantages and disadvantages to co-op. Overall, it's easier, for sure, and really enjoyable to play with another person. So
for our listeners out there, how does the co-op actually work with the partner? Do they share, like, a pool of health? Do they revive each other?
So the second player can come in at any time. The first player is always dominant, and the second player essentially steals a pip of health. Has its own health pool, but they can't heal. The second player cannot heal and cannot pick anything up. So the first player has to do all the interactions, and the second player is there more as like support for a lot of stuff. And again, they can revive, but every time you revive, and if you want to revive at any time, they steal another pip of health from the main player. So.
Oh, okay. Nice balancing act there.
Yeah, we thought long and hard about how to balance out co-op, so it was enjoyable, so it was a little bit easier for everybody if they wanted to do that, without making it easy mode per se.
Was the co-op something that you guys thought about originally? Because that came out in beta after the game originally launched on Steam.
Yeah, co-op was in there, like one of the first things that we popped in. It was a core design, and it was originally going to be like 4 players and some other stuff, but designs change over the course of 2 years, so it got distilled down to, well, there's probably too much crazy stuff going on, and the scope of the project and all this, and 2 players was what we were able to manage. So we're pretty happy with the result, though, and we're glad that we even got it in, because we originally cut it for launch, so we worked an extra month to get it in after the fact.
Yeah, definitely. I know our other mod, Reese, Delicious Cheese, he is going to love that because he loves local co-op games. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that to him. he loves the fast-paced stuff. So.
Yeah, everybody asks about online though, and we're like, "Are you crazy?" That stuff it's Game Maker, first of all. Second of all, online stuff it takes a whole dedicated person to do that, and it takes months to get that stuff right. And even then, there's still a bunch of issues that it introduces. So. you know, getting the co-op we had in, we were lucky to do it, and I'm really glad that we did.
Yeah, you mentioned Game Maker there, and
Yeah.
kind of made me think. Like, I do remember hearing that sometimes people said that pixel art games such as this were more difficult or time-intensive to make than traditionally animated ones. Did you run into that, or did Game Maker help you at all?
I mean, I really can't speak for other projects necessarily, but for ours, like, we put thousands of frames of animation in there. You know, there's over 1,000 frames of animation just for the main character. So it's like we we put a lot of art into the game, and it just took a lot of time and effort to do that anyway, regardless of the resolution of it. So
I actually did notice that initially right off the bat, and like, oh, his character's swaying, and I know it's just a little, or his cape swaying. I know it's just a little tiny addition to the game, but just you can tell that you put in a lot of effort into the animation itself.
yeah, it was. I mean, it's all hand animated, so it's a labor of love.
Right. And we'll actually wrap it up here for you. And we'll ask our one bonus silly question that we always ask every guest, and that is, name one video game character that you could knock out in a single punch.
Me personally,
Yes.
And a little bit of context, when we had Major Nelson on, he actually said Frogger, and we had some of the Xbox support team members on, and they were saying various video game animals such as the Duck Hunt dog. So
I don't even know. That guy is probably really tough. I mean,
I believe Ryan McCaffrey of IGN said Preston from Fallout 4 because he just
Oh,
disliked
no.
him so much.
oh, that's so sad.
And I said Carmine because he wouldn't duck a punch from Gears of War.
But those guys are they're like monster meat, so you know that'd be hard to knock out a Gears of War character. Shoot, I don't know. How about Yoshi?
oh, poor Yoshi.
Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for the answers. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to the interview on our team, and hopefully the rest of the listeners enjoy it too.
Great, I appreciate it, guys.
And if our listeners want to follow you or catch up on some of the updates of the game, where can they get some of that information from? Do you have a Twitter or a website they can follow?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at HeartMachineZ, or you can go to heartmachine.com, and we do updates there. We have a devlog that we post up there, so you know, we try and keep things updated.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you
thanks
so
for
much.
having me, guys.
No problem.
Well, thanks very much for that great interview. Sorry I couldn't be on it, but it was far too late at night for me. Now, it has been a bit of a slow news week. Is this the post-E3 lull?
I think it is. It is. It's the excuse that they've given us now to actually play all of the games that are in our backlog. That's what they're trying to tell us.
Still not enough time.
Do you know, I actually had that sort of issue as I went the other day to think, oh, what do I want to play? I don't want to play Red Dead because I don't have enough time here. I've played too much of Rocket League. I've played too much of Siege. What will I do? I'll sit in Twitch and watch people play Overwatch.
Are you serious?
Yeah. No
Almost
idea
the same
why.
thing.
No idea why.
Oh my goodness.
Now, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at X1PartyChat to find out who next week's guest is going to be, because quite frankly, I don't even know right now. And I've been your host, Ross. And Xbox off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.
Yes, coming up later in the cast, or coming right up.
No.
Right now. Okay, I'll start that over. Yes, coming up right now in the podcast, we have, I believe it's Alex Preston. It's ALX Preston from the Hyperlight Drifter team. Oh, one more time.
Can you just say Alex Preston, creator of Hyperlight?
I wanted to get in there that it was ALX.
Why don't you just go and now here's this week's interview?
And now here's this week's interview, Alex Preston from the Hyperlight Drifter team.
That's not, and now here's just this week's interview, but fair enough.
And now here's this week's interview, Alex Preston.
I don't know, but I think this might be the blooper for the end.
You know what? This is what happens when you ask me to actually do something.
I know. It's when I
And
ask it, if I just leave you alone, you're fine.
Oh man, I can't.
If I leave you alone,
This
you're
week's
fine.
episode.
Go back to
This
sleep,
week's
Mikey.
episode. You won't be able to see that on screen, so you have to rely on your team communication to when. Oh, also there's. Wow, I'm in New York City, by the way, and there's a huge storm that sounds like it's rolling in. That was thunder and lightning.
Make sure to stay on your computer. It's always a good
Sorry,
idea.
they're also someone just started running a vacuum cleaner right outside of my door.
Is that the wife?
No,
Time to
I'm
start
in a
new
hotel
family.
right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Still starting a new family.
Yeah, exactly.